Forgot what key I was in, and I was like, wait, what did I just play? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another video today. Today's a day, and today's a video day, so here we are. Today we're going to talk about the age-old myth of you don't need your pinky, you do, you should always use your pinky. There's so many different versions of it out there, and I thought I would kind of like, the video's probably called Ditch Your Pinky. And I want to talk about the reason why I stopped using my pinky so much. I actually have a reason backed by pure science of why I did this. And I used to be a person who always used a pinky. If it was like 4 frets, I was always using my pinky for everything. And I actually purposely stopped using it so much. So I want to give you a couple of examples, a couple of licks here, and then kind of like a little hodgepodge section where I'm just explaining my thought process of when I use my pinky, when I don't, and just that kind of thing. So grab the tabs down below and let's just get going. Quick disclaimer in the video is I'm not recommending people to not use their pinky. I use my pinky all the time for lots of different situations. Well, I almost poked myself in the eye just then. I'm just wanting to kind of like state a case of why I don't use it all the time. So please don't think this is a video saying don't use your pinky, because it's very crucial. Learn how to use your pinky. Alright, so the first lick here, I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to show you why I choose to play the way that I do, and why I initially started branching out and not using my pinky so much. So it looks like this. And as always, I forgot and left my delay on from the intro, and now we're saved. Okay, so why did I stop using my pinky? Well, for one, I realized that when I was using my pinky, I tended to not reach out so much. My notes stayed very close together, and I've mentioned this in other videos. I really love the sound of wider intervals between your notes. So if you look at a lick like this, I'll play it slow. It looks like this. There's a lot of different things happening in here that are kind of essential to not using your pinky. So one of it is obviously I'm reaching up and I'm grabbing that major third. Now, like I said, you might want to go like this, okay, where I'm going to go 9, hammer onto 10 on the B, and then I go back to 7. So this is all B minor. It's not really B minor pentatonic. It's a hybrid of B minor, mixo, Dorian tonic blues. So there you go. There's your scale of the day. But like I said, I like to go like this. I go 9, hammer onto 10, and if I use my middle to ring finger and pointer finger, like I said, now some people might want to use their pinky there. The reason why I don't is it makes, basically needing to reach up here to get this note, really difficult if I use my pinky. Sorry. See, if I had all that pinky stuff in there, I don't really like it. Because, like I said, it makes my hand, I'm jumping around a whole bunch. But if I just spread my hand out, this is just, if you have bigger hands, take advantage of having bigger hands when you can. See, look, my hand doesn't have to jump around, it stays in one position the whole time. So I'm really just taking advantage of not needing to shift my hand that much. So like I said, when I'm doing this, I'm going to go 9, hammer on 10, 7 on the high string. Now I reach up here and I get 11, which is my major third. And I pull back off to 7. Okay? Now I'm going to kind of venture normal pentatonic and then a chromatic section. So I'm going to go 10, pull off to 7. Because look, it lines my hand up perfectly to not need to shift. Okay? Now here I go like this because I'm already leading with this ring finger. So I don't want to have to shift my hand just to incorporate the pinky now, when I know I'm just going to have to switch to my ring finger later. So it's kind of like, you're just thinking ahead of what you're going to do. So I go, so I'm going to go 8, there's your flat 5. I'm sorry, not 8. I'm going to go 10, 9, 8 on the G, and I slide down to 7. Now I'm kind of back in my pentatonic box. Okay? And I follow the same kind of rule here. So I go 9 to 7 on the D, then I'm going to go 9, 8, 7 on the A, and I slide all the way down to 5, and then I resolve it all nicely to our root, which is 7 on the low E string. So, that's really all that I'm doing there for that one. But there, like I said, I'm still using my pinky, it's not always there. A lot of times I use these 3 fingers because I like the ability to stretch, and then I still have my pinky to stretch even further. So it ended up making my notes sound further apart, which is what I really liked, you know. And a lot of my favorite players use these 3 fingers predominantly and incorporate that pinky to get that extra wide stretch. So I don't know, I like that sound a lot, and I really think that if you were only using your pinky instead of stretching out like I am, it makes a lot of that stuff really difficult. Now the next lick is this one. Okay, real simple kind of bluesy sounding lick, and this is something I got from blues players, and I noticed that they were sounding different. You know, they were playing it differently than what I was, because when I was really using my pinky a lot, what I would do is I'd go like this. Hear the difference in that? The slide has, to me it just has more character to it than the pull-offs. So when I use my fingers like this, I tend to slide, and if I did that with my pinky sliding down, look how bunched up my hand becomes. Yeah, it's so I can't even do it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just bending 10 on the B string up a full step. So this is a similar kind of like pentatonic-y. I'm incorporating the major 6th and the major 3rd into this one. So I'm going to bend 10 a full step up on the B. Then I go to 7 on the high E string, and I go back to 10, but I slide down to 9 with my ring finger. Then I pull off to 7. So you can see why if I use my pinky there, it really jams all my fingers together. 4 fingers within a 3-fret reach, there's no reason for that, you know? And it makes it uncomfortable for my hand to do that. I go to 9 on the G, then back to 7, 9 on the G. Then I'm going to bend 7 up a half step on the G, and I resolve it to 9 on the D, just our root note. Or you could go your flat 7 if you wanted, if you really want to add some of that attitude to it. But another situation where, like I said, I realized that not using my pinky gave it a little bit of a different flair and a different little pizzazz to it. And you know what? Let's just face it. All of our licks need a little bit more pizzazz at times. So sounds different then. It just does. It's just science. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, even on bigger stretches, I'll still use my ring finger, and that is because I don't want to have to change fingers all the time. So what I mean by that is, and this is something, again, I've talked about this in other videos, is that I would rather stretch than shift. If I have to shift my hand at all, if I can avoid it by stretching, I go that route, and it's a personal preference, you know? So if we were thinking like box 5 here, like box 1 is pretty easy to navigate, either using your pinky or not using your pinky. Now, for me, when I get into box number, I'm sorry, that was box number 1. Box number 5 is a little bit trickier, because this one's very easy to go like this. But to shift back to these 2 fingers, for this next little part, there's so much shifting involved there. So basically, 4 out of the 6 strings require the same 2 fingers. So I kind of set them as the priority. I'm like, okay, well, the majority of the time I'm using these 2 fingers. Why not just keep it that way and just stretch a little bit more? Again, you know, I'm not trying to say not use your pinky. That's not the message of this video. I'm just saying it's okay to not use it sometimes if it is, you know, more accommodating to what you're trying to do. So like I said, when I do this, I do the box 5 scale like this. Sounds like a Rival Sun song. Isn't that a Rival Sun song? Woo! Yeah, I'm your electric man. There, yeah, that's funny. That's right there. Anyways, like I said, this isn't so much like a lick that I'm going to show you, but I just wanted to point out that when I do this because then my hand stays the same. So I can do all the, like, kind of the faster licks. And that box 5, and my hand never shifts. I just keep it right here, and it stays in one position. And it's always just kind of saved me time. You know, whatever I'm doing. You know, like the Nuno kind of thing. What does he do? Like, that's a very Nuno lick, except for when I butchered it there at the end. That he does in the Pornography. So you can see how, like I said, I use these little techniques all over the place. They're real simple and subtle, but I really think this is where it starts implementing itself and becoming phrasing. You know, like I said, I love the sound of that extra big little, getting that major third instead of going like this. To me, that sounds small. Oh, that sounds really interesting. You know, so you know, throw that in your good old blues licks. And the reason why I bend so much with all my other fingers and not my pinky is because I never liked how much you needed to scrunch your hand down to get the pinky involved. Sometimes you have to bend with your pinky, like the Sweet Child of Mine. That little solo. Sometimes you just gotta do it. You know, I'm not saying don't practice it. But a lot of times I like the control that these fingers have, and it keeps my hand in a more ready-to-play position, if that makes sense. When I'm using my pinky, my hand is scrunched together. It's very like an unnatural thing for me, like this. I don't know, that doesn't seem natural, but when I'm like this, my fingers are ready to go. So let me know what you guys do. Do you kind of opt to use your pinky at all times, or do you let the moment and kind of situation dictate it? Because I know some people are stiflers about it. Henning used to always like joke around about me like not using my pinky. But I'm like, you know what? It just doesn't make sense to use it sometimes. Like a lot of the pentatonic boxes, when I teach them, I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me to shift for those 2 notes and then have to shift right back. So, anyways, get the tabs. Pinky using rant-ish video lesson over, I suppose. So I'll play you guys some rhythm out of here. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye!